Hello everybody. Again, I find myself apologizing because it's been 3 months since I have been able to do this for health reasons, which I will not get into. It's not easy for me to, get these videos done the way any other YouTuber would be able to dedicate such time. And remember, if you've seen any other of my videos, I always remind you I'm a one-woman show. I'm the makeup artist, I'm the photographer, I'm the video person, I'm the editor, and you know what else goes into these videos. So nobody helps me do this. I do this on my own, and it takes me a couple of days before I can actually get them posted. So I do apologize for those who, may have been waiting for another video. And I thank you also because I see that you're still watching the ones I have posted, so I'm grateful for that. I wanted to do something really colorful with some products that I've had around and I've never really used, or I barely use, and we're going in the winter time, so I wanted to do a really nice, sexy winter, type makeup look. This is not an Arabian look. It's just a regular, this is nighttime. It's not, I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't go out during the day with all this makeup on. But then again, it's because of my age. A younger person probably would and could get away with it. However, there are a few products that I want to talk about because they're like the stars of this look, and you see that I have a really dark lip, and you saw how I went about getting it. You can mix products as long as these products are only going on your face, and cross contamination and all that. And you saw that I dipped into a couple of things that I would use on my eye and put it on my lip. I wouldn't do that to on another person for that reason, unless I took it out and put it on a makeup, what do you call those things, or on my hand, but on a makeup palette is the only way that I would consider doing that. These are mine. I don't use them on anybody else. And this here is a gel liner by NYX. You saw I put this on my lips, and that's to make the lipstick that I put over it, which is this, also by NYX. NYX and e.l.f. are coming out with really, really good products, and they're really no different than the really expensive stuff. So I wanted to shout out, I wanted to talk about these things because most people assume that because they're so cheap that they're not going to be any good, and that's really not true at all. So this is NYX High Voltage lipstick, and it's creamy. What I find so interesting about this is it is creamy and it stays like all day. I have to rub this off. So this is a wonderful formula. They have them in all kinds of neon colors, which I have and I've not used. So I'd like to do a couple of videos with that. So you see I put the purple liner on as a base, and then on top of it the NYX High Voltage, and these colors don't have names, they just have numbers. But this is like a really almost black, maroonish black color, and I wanted like a vampy lip. So because we're heading into winter time, these dark colors are like wintry. I sort of combined and included these types of products. And also, I've never used this. I don't really take to blues and purples too much, but I found that it actually looks pretty good, especially on the lip, and it's really creamy. So if you wanted to use it on your eyes, you probably could. And I never ever really thought I'd use this. This here is by Wet n Wild. And again, Wet n Wild, I'm extremely impressed with their products, especially their eyeshadows, which I use in the video, and you'll see. I mean, they're amazing. And really, it's a shame that people think that because it's Wet n Wild, it's no good. That is extremely untrue. Actually, the formula that they are using is just as good as any palette you would pay for at Sephora or Ulta. Speaking of Sephora, they do have, I just want to, before I forget, have something called the Sephora Collection, and it's for buyers such as myself and probably most of you who want to be able to afford products from MAC or what is it? The name of the eyeshadows that everybody loves, the Naked palettes. Well, those are $50, and so most people will not buy that. But Sephora has come out with a collection where they have, you know, dupes that you can buy that are affordable. So we can all shop at Sephora now. So anyway, getting back to this, I'm not into blues, but I was highly impressed by how this came out. It's a very beautiful, bright, almost neonish blue. And then back to NYX, they have the it's called Sextreme BOMB palette. And I bought it because I was really interested in this color, but the truth is all of the colors are really good, and their formula is great, and they're very pigmented. And so this is what that looks like. And this was like $6. But it's pretty much the star of the lids here. So thought I'd include that. So it's like a bright lid, and then almost like a really maroonish, brownish, almost, I would say, smoky eye with a half cut crease. So I was just trying to be creative, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. Also, the lipstick that I had on before I did the vamp is by, and it's a bomb, it's a stain, Wet n Wild. And then these really dark, strange, not everyday colors are by Hard Candy, and I have a whole set of them. This one here is the blue. So that's what this is. And again, if you guys will, you know, be a little patient with me, I will try harder. I suffer with several illnesses that makes it difficult for me to do things that everybody else does on a regular basis. If you will probably go to my first or second video, I do talk about it, and I talk about it in a couple other videos. But you know, for me to be able to throw a couple of videos up a week would be impossible. So on what I call a good day for me, I try to do this. And especially, you know, when I've gotten products that, you know, have been sitting around and I haven't been able to do anything with them, I get inspired. And when I get inspired, that's when this happens. And I'm very pleased with how this came out. And like I said, it's a wintry look, and I went for a velvety face with some highlight, and my brows were done before I even started recording. And of course, the vampy, really dark lip. This really is nighttime makeup, because when you go really dark on the eyes, you really shouldn't do a dark lip too. Or if you do a dark lip, you should probably not wear too much eyeshadow. And then of course the lashes, and these are by, I believe it's J Lash. Anyway, this was my last pair, so I'm gonna have to find something else, because Rainbows is no longer open in my area. And then of course I did some contouring, and then I have the one thing that I hope you guys pick up from my videos is that I multi-use products. There are some products you can use on your eyes, on your lips, on your cheeks, And that also will save you a lot of money. Then you thinking, okay, this says eyeliner, so I have to use this on my eyes. That's not necessarily true. A lot of times, you know, you can multi-use. You can use one product to do several things. And I'll try to do a video just like that too. Maybe it'll be my next one. But anyways, thanks for being patient, and for those of you who are subscribing and watching my videos faithfully, I'm very, very grateful. Thank you very, very much. And I try to answer all of the comments that I get personally. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't missed any. But if I have, let me know. And let me know what you think about this video, because this is really something new that I just came up with just on the fly. And until next time, hopefully really, really soon. Bye-bye. So you start with priming, and you guys know I use the NYX concealer formula. So let me get myself together here and get this eye done. And because I only use this on myself, you know, if I were using it on someone else, I would take it out of the pot, put it on my hand, and use it on the other person. But because I don't use this one on anyone else, I have another one that I do use on other people, but this one is mine. I can just take it straight from the pot, and we're going to go ahead and this is also another way to take that across the brow bone and highlight your brow area. Just like I said, mine are done. And I just used an eyebrow, the Maybelline Define. I do believe that is, yeah, Maybelline. And brow define in a dark brown, and I think this is LA Colors brow powder over that, and that's how I did my brows. So okay, I start here, and I also like to really clean up that brow area with this. I'm going to take a little bit under the eye because, as you can see, some shadows went under the eye. And I have some new shadows that I have never ever used. So I came up with this colorful theme here. And I glittered it up, and there's some shimmers. And so it's more like a freestyle type of look. And I usually wear really hardcore eyeliner, but you'll see here that I have this different theme for eyeliner going on. And that was another product I had and I never used. I'm not much for blues, but this blue eyeliner is really beautiful. And I thought it went really, really nicely with the rest of the makeup. This type of eye theme would be for going out. And I tried to make it where it's not, you know, just for photography, so that if you want to create this and, you know, use it for a night out, you can do that. So, okay, here we go. I have primed my eyes. And then I like to clean my brushes in between, so I always have a little napkin on hand. Okay, the rest here pretty much is self-explanatory, but I'm going to walk you through it anyway. This is the pencil technique. You need a very creamy pencil to pull this off. This pencil is by LA Colors, and as you can see, I am mapping out the shape. There are different shapes, depending on your eye shape, that you can commit to when it comes to these types of eyeshadow looks. Mine is the elongated one because I have chinky hooded eyes. There's the banana shape, and I could pull that one off too. And then I usually do the half cut crease because, again, my eye shape. Most people will do an entire cut crease, a whole eye. And that looks beautiful too. That's my husband in the back. Please ignore him. He's so rude. But seriously, this is very self-explanatory. If you have seen any of my videos, you know what I'm doing here. And those brushes that I'm using to blend are really tiny paint brushes and also a Bare Essentials pencil brush. I wanted to also mention quickly, because I forgot in my intro, that the lipsticks, I changed them up in 3 different colors. A matte blue, just using just the hard candy one that I showed you, with some black liner on the bottom. Then I swatched that off and did like a purpley black, like a burgundy black with gloss. And I switched it one more time, and I think it was just a purple that I had on my lips. And that was using the purple gel liner that I had under, like a pinkish color. So I did that off camera and played around with it just to give you different types of dark lipsticks you could use with this makeup look. So, okay, I forgot to mention that in my intro. Here, obviously, I am blending out with the pencil brush what I've done. If you do not do this, you're going to end up with a very prominent line, and you don't want that. And that's happened to me even in a couple of my videos where I just didn't take the time to blend this right. And I hope you guys didn't notice, but I surely did. So I took the time to, blend this out correctly, as you should. And that's why this video is 40 minutes long. And, that's about how long it does really take me to apply all of my makeup. But in this case, I already had one eye done plus my brows, and this still took me that long. So I'm just making up for lost time here, obviously. Alrighty, so as you can see, I'm using now a wider angled brush, a flat applicator brush, or what people would call a placement brush. And that's by e.l.f. And then this is an all-purpose, and this is what I was talking about. You can use these all-purpose pencils for anything. I can actually get away with using that as a matte lipstick if I wanted to. I put gloss on it, but I could do it. And so here's the Maybelline Gel Liner I'm going to use. And I'm just going to apply that right on my waterline and right under, just a quarter of the way, top and bottom, of where I did the pencil line with the brown one by LA Colors with gel. And that's just for a little bit more prominence towards the end of the eye, a little bit more drama, more depth. And if you have hooded eyes, you know what that means. I just learned, actually I didn't just learn this, but I was reminded that the hooded eye shape is the most common eye shape. And I find that strange, because most people don't have the problems that I have applying eyeshadows. I have to create my own crease and socket lines, and uh, just a mess. And I don't know too many people who have to go through that. But they do say, that it is the most common eye shape. So then, most of you should truly understand my pain when I've got to look for my socket area, because I've got so much skin there that I can't find it any other way. And so, for those of you like me who have a hooded eye shape, you'll want to find your socket area, or your real crease area where your eyes actually should be creasing at, and create your own. And so that's what I'm doing here. And yeah, this is a little bit of a process. As you can see, it's a lot of blending, it's a lot of reapplying. But if you slow, now YouTube allows you to slow down these videos. If you decide to do that, you'll get a really good slow-mo of what I'm doing. So I'm really, really happy that they've done that. So for people who want to slow things down so they can take a good look, can now do that. And you'll notice that I will, reapply, blend, reapply, and that's for, obviously, I'm on camera, it drains colors, and so that you guys can get the actual payoff in real life of what this looks like as much as possible. I also want to mention that in the pictures, I chose different lighting to take the picture so you can see how much of a difference that makes with the same exact colors that you have on, changing nothing. Uh, it completely changes your makeup look. So I chose 3 different places to take pictures where the lighting was different. And, well, that's self-explanatory too. And you can see the difference. Lighting is pretty much everything. So this type of look, if you're going to use this off camera, you're not, there's not a photo shoot. And you're going to go out. I go out, you know, in places where there's low lighting because it looks best that way. And your face will look smoother as well. Where if you're in that harsh light, even though I blended it really well, it's a lot of makeup, especially when I get to the face. So here I am using, that is the NYX, and I've already applied a couple of colors. I'm a horrible narrator. But this is the Jumbo NYX Milk Pencil, and that's going to go first, I'd say, half of the eye. A little bit more than that. Then blend it out with a concealer. But before that, I've already used the Wet n Wild Fergie palette with the orange and the NYX palette, the Sex Bomb palette, and applied the red. I also applied a burgundy from my Morphe palette. It's like a burgundy brown towards the very, very end on top of where my pencil technique is at. And that's going to set all of your makeup. It's also going to help to darken. The dark colors are going to be... I like my colors to come out like they look in the pan. And that's why I go through this process. You don't have to do this, because if you're using a concealer, it really should get pretty close. I choose to do it, again, I'm on camera. I want you guys to see these colors the way they look in the pan. When I take my photos, I don't want them to look all drained or like a totally different color. So that's why I do it. You don't have to do it. Once you have primed your eyes, you should be ready to apply your makeup. So here I am taking the lighter orange and that off-white matte color and blending out all of the seams. Like I said, I really went out with blending because I noticed in a couple of my videos I should have spent more time doing it. So I did it this time. So there's a lot of blending. That's a small, it's a mini blending brush. I think that it would be a lot like the MAC 214 brush, but it's an e.l.f. brush, and it's a tiny bit more angled. So here goes the Morphe palette, and I use 2 colors out of there, a rich brown and a burgundy, like reddish brown, which I'm pointing at right there. And that's going to go like towards that reddish color, blending right into it. At the very end is the rich brown over the brown and the black pencil that I used. And then again, you want to blend everything out. Anytime you apply color, no matter how many times, you want to blend. Because trust me, people can tell, and especially if it's a person who knows how to put on makeup, that you've made a mistake. And I've made a few in my time. And that's because lack of blending. You can also choose to use this same brush like I did. Just keep cleaning it. I have a napkin on my lap, and I just clean it and keep using it. Or you can switch out brushes if you're more comfortable. And so I'm now highlighting my brow with the white color in the Wet n Wild palette. That's the palette that I'm so impressed with, aside from the NYX Sex Bomb palette. I mean, the formula and that palette is as good as any Urban Decay palette out there. I would dare somebody to show me the difference. honestly. And so go out and buy them all. Those have gorgeous colors, and the formula is on point. So here goes the Sex Bomb palette, and I'm just going back in and reapplying. I do this 2 or 3 times. I think 3 times if I want to be really honest. And that's just to, go back in and darken, because I'm going to apply a little bit of glitter, and then that's going to, because it's a little bit wet, it's going to take away a little bit of what I did, so I have to go back over. So I'm gonna be even more honest and say I think I do this 4 times. And would I do this if I was, because I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna ask me this, if I was just to put this on to go out? No. Probably just a couple of coats would be more than enough, but this is for camera. And anytime you are applying makeup for photos or on camera, you want to make sure that your audience can see the true colors of your makeup. And so you will have to do this 3 to 4 times. It's just the way that it is. And I have a pretty decent camera. I have a Sony, and still it never fails. Also, lighting is a big thing, and you'll see that I now have very strong lighting. That's for applying the makeup. It's not so much for taking the pictures, but it's so that I can see and so that you can see what the freaking heck it is I'm doing. And this is a pigment by LA Colors, and I've used them before. That's a very light, sparkly pink. It's like a fairy dust. And I put that in my inner corners. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of chatting, and trust me, this video would have been a whole lot longer if I wouldn't have sped it up. Because of all the chatting, I really was trying to make up for lost time here. So I think we're gonna get to the part. Well, here what I'm doing is I'm fixing the wing, and I'm doing that with a black. That's in that Sex Bomb. It's got a matte black in there. And I'm going to blend that out because I don't want that definite line there. But that's going to further cut my crease and show you the definition of my socket area. But just towards the end of the eye. And that's why I love to do cut creases, because I create my own socket area. So here goes, yeah, getting to the glitter, and this glitter is by NYX, and it's a beautiful peachy color that I chose. I'll show you guys in a minute. I'm taking a gray from the Sex Bomb palette by NYX and applying it over the black, and I'm blending it out. So I'm showing you those 2 colors. I'm not happy with the crease, with the ends of the shadow. I want to make sure that they're really soft and there's no harsh lines at all. So I did this again. If you are over 55, because I don't think in your 40s you should have really loose skin on your eyes. So I'm starting on one of my eyes. I would not recommend that you put colors like this on your eye. It will accentuate your lines. You don't want that. You can do something like this with much lighter colors. Or just use 1 or 2 really light colors and get away with a real pretty smoky eye, or even a cut crease, as long as they're not really dark, bright colors in the areas where I'm using them. I don't know if it's genetics, but I'm just not at the point where I have lost my elasticity to the point where I can no longer do this. At least not yet. And I'm getting there. I'm not going to tell you my age, but I'm getting there. And I guess it's genetics, and the women in my family don't usually get the crinkly eye look until much later. But our hair does start to thin out quite early. So, I guess you gotta have something go wrong, even when you have good genes. So, I'm able to still pull this off, but okay, not everybody my age, you know. So, for those of you who cannot, I'm gonna do a really, really natural one, for going out. That's just as festive. It's just without the dark, dark colors. And so here goes the peachy glitter. And because it is a little bit wet, you're going to see I'm going to go right over that again with the orange and the red. And I think even the burgundy brown from the Morphe palette one more time, because the glitter sort of took some of the color away. So that happens. And I just really, if I'm going to do these videos, it really would make me really, really angry to have gone through all of this for you guys to see, a faded out look, or for you to see this look not the way it looks in real life, or as close as I can possibly get it to what it looks like in real life. And unfortunately, for some reason, even though I have a decent camera, it still drains. It could be the lighting that I'm using, but I don't think so. I think, cameras, just tend to drain color for some reason. And lighting also can do that though, so I am aware of that. So that's why you see me do this so many times. But if you were going out and were not really looking to film this, then you would not have to do this as many times as you've seen me do it. If you're going to take pictures and you are out on the town, I don't think that you would care that it not come out exactly the way that you applied it, because you're not doing it for the sake of a photo shoot or to show people on YouTube how it's supposed to look. And that's what I'm doing. So here goes the, I think it's NYC. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Wet n Wild blue. That's a beautiful, shocking blue. Almost neon blue. Beautiful. And I never used it before because I'm just not one who looks really good with blue or purple shadows. So I try and shy away from my favorite type of colors are more on the bare side, like more like earth tony, that I find are the most flattering. But because I'm doing YouTube videos, I have to understand that there are people who would, their skin tone would definitely take to these type of colors, and I have to do videos for everybody. Anyway, it actually surprised me. The formula is really good, just like if it was a black one. And that, in my experience, usually is not the case. And this time it was. So curling the lashes, and here I am using the curved. I always forget what this is called, but it's the pink bottle by Maybelline, and it's got the curved brush. It comes in a hot pink bottle, and I'm just putting it on. I'm gonna put on Falsies in a second by J Lash, which, as you can see, I've already got on. And I had to put the blue liner over that because the band I have used these before, and the band I had to fix. So here, using an e.l.f. primer, and this is the regular formula, which is a white one. I am priming my face, and then I'm going in with, and I do believe this is Revlon Color Stay. I may be wrong on that, but I do believe it is. It's the closest thing. It's a very nice dupe for the, I think it's by Makeup Forever, and it's a dupe for that, and it's the Fit Me foundation, and I think that's Maybelline, I'm sorry, not Revlon. And then just using a kabuki brush to blend everything in. If you see a little bit of extra shine on my face, that's coming directly from the light that I have on top of me. It's a really bright light. So you want to blend that in, and then you're going to want to go ahead and do your, yeah, I'm going to show you the bottle now, and it is definitely Maybelline. Sorry. Happens to me all the time. That's how you know I don't put on makeup every day anymore. So here I'm going to take my bestest favorite in the world concealer and also a highlighter. I have the lightest formula, Hard Candy Glamouflage, and I have been using this now for 3 years. I won't change it because it's got a lot of luminosity in it and it stays. It almost looks like, I don't know, like custard, but it's, I promise you, it's very, very creamy, but when it sets and it stays, and there's no creasing. But you will see that I will take a translucent powder and set it anyway. But I've worn it without setting it, and there's like no creasing. It looks like it's very, very, very natural. And then it's got a natural highlight to it because I chose, obviously, a much lighter color than my complexion, and I did it for that purpose. But they do have them in your regular complexion color. The medium, a fair one, and then a really dark tan one. And then I'm using beauty blending. It's a little bit damp to blend everything out, which to me is extremely important because it's like buffing, and there's no room for error when you are buffing your makeup. So for me, it's not enough with the brushes, even though the brushes do good, but to get a flawless, really soft looking face, to me, buffing is the key, so beauty blenders are key. So here with the coverall, I think that's by, I think it's LA Colors. And it's a translucent powder, and it was just to set my under eye. Then I am using Bare Minerals. This is going to further soften out my face. A little trick that I learned, just one application to set the rest of my face. It can be used, of course, as a foundation on its own, but I find that this is the way it works best, especially if you're going out. If you're not, and you're just putting on everyday makeup, use Bare Minerals on its own. And then here with, again, my all-purpose crayon, I'm going to do a little bit of contouring. I always do creams first, and then I'll go in with powders. And I just think that it gives you more of a three-dimensional effect, and it also keeps your face nice and luminous and velvety looking. So with an e.l.f. kabuki brush, which is not really the proper brush to do this with, I couldn't find mine. I use this one, but it's not the right brush either. I couldn't find my small e.l.f. brush for this, my dense brush, which is what you should use to blend this in. So I use the e.l.f. kabuki brush to do it. And again, the beauty blender. And then here with a Sephora highlighter, and I also mix that with the Revlon Skin Lights. And this is just the regular skin tone color. I am doing my highlighting. And again, beauty blender. I didn't make that up. I heard someone else say that. Booty blenders. I think it's cute. And then this is with the Skin Lights right over it. And that's for maximum highlighting. Strobing. Ooh, honey, it is raining. If you hear that in the background, it's kind of loud. And so here, there goes my dense brush. I finally found it. And I'm going to use powder highlights. And these are the Pearls by e.l.f. They're beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I already have a little bit crushed, so going into the bottom of the pan and picking it up and going everywhere where I highlighted for extra highlight. They're beautiful, and they have them in all sorts of tones, and I'm sure that those will last me a very, very long time. There's a lot of them in there. And then with the Wet n Wild Fergie Collection highlight, I'll go over that again. So I've used here 2 powder highlights and 2 liquid highlights. I'm strobing it up. And then with the Hard Candy, this is a blush and highlighter combination. I forget what it's called. There's a very, very simple name, and it's the only blush they have that looks anything like that. So it's like a light pink. And then with the contouring by Profusion, using the darkest of their colors, I am powder contouring now. And then I think we're getting into the lips, and you're going to see me pick up a NYX purple gel liner with a lip brush. That I'm going to use to both lip line, which I did ahead of time, as you can see. So I'm just going in those lines. I'm putting it where I know I'm going to apply lipstick. And I didn't completely rub this off when I put the blue, the Hard Candy blue by itself. And it gave the Hard Candy blue a really, really strong blue color. It's a tiny bit lighter than what it came out like on camera, and very matte looking, which I liked. I'm a matte girl. So remember, there's 3 different lipstick combinations, and I use these 3 products to get to them. One is just with this and the red lip stain right in the middle. So the Vampy with the red in the middle, it kind of came out like a purplish black almost, or like a burgundy, a really dark burgundy. And then I later, off camera, wiped that off and put on just the blue. And I think that was the last picture I took. Put the hat back on and just rubbed some of that off and just the blue. Now I put some of the blue here, but I wanted the blue by itself and matte. So this created like a purpley, blackish burgundy color, and I wanted to see what just the blue look like. So that's why you'll see different lip colors. And then using the Maybelline, yes, Maybelline Gel Eyeliner, I am further going and perfecting all the lines and lip lining. And guys, that's it for this. I hope I spent enough time with you, and I hope I'll be back really, really, really soon. And please, please, like, subscribe. Let me know how you liked this or didn't like it. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.